In this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video on how to make a keto-friendly, gluten-free almond flour bread. I had done another video where I used this flour. This is a unblanched almond flour, and I'm using the Nature's Eats blanched almond flour. I got this from Walmart. It was actually a little bit cheaper than the Anthony's almonds. After looking on a app that I have, these are gluten-free. These are also gluten-free. This yeah, they're both gluten-free. The Anthony's almonds I got off of Amazon. Like I said, these I got from Walmart. It was just a kind of a, it was there, I was there, and they were a little bit cheaper when I looked them up on Amazon how much the Anthony's almonds blanched were. The blanched, what I believe that is it's just removing the skin from the almonds. So, as you can see, this almond flour kind of looks like this, whereas the unblanched, as you can see, is not really the same. There's much more of a, you can definitely see the skin in the unblanched one. So what I've got here is, in this bowl I've got a cup and a half of almond flour. I've got 6 egg whites that are separated, and I got the 6 egg yolks. I've got 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Plus I also have a little bit of salt. I think it's about a 1/4 teaspoon. In here I've got about 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. In another video that I did where I used the non-blanched almond flour, I had added a little bit of the pumpkin pie spice to increase the flavor. Because I made a batch of it earlier, and I do not like the flavor of the almond flour bread. It didn't taste all that great to me. I had made some grilled cheese sandwiches with it, and it just wasn't all that great. If I sliced it up and put it in the toaster, I had to put a lot of butter on it to kind of kill the flavor of it. I had used some sun butter, and that was pretty good. And if you're wondering what that noise in the background is, my 6-year-old daughter is playing with her marble track. So it's a great way to keep kids busy. So, got all this right here. And what we're going to wind up doing is going to take the egg whites, and we are going to take the cream of tartar, and we're going to add it to the bowl. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to my KitchenAid mixer and mix up the egg whites so they get nice and fluffy, and we're going to beat them until, we're going to beat these eggs until they form stiff peaks. The other thing I forgot is, in my microwave I have the butter that you need. It's about 4 to 5 tablespoons of melted butter that you're going to wind up needing for this recipe as well. So here's my KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to turn it up all the way. Eggs are starting to become stiff now, as you can see. And now they're going to be much, much stiffer. Oh, they're nice and stiff. So those are good. So what I want to do is we're going to bring the bowl over to the counter and continue working on other stuff. Alright, so here's my butter that I had melted. Here's the almond flour and then the baking powder. So what we want to do is we're going to take the almond flour, the egg yolks, the butter, and the baking powder, and we're going to put them into my Ninja. Alright, so I got all that added to my Ninja except for the baking powder. Got that done. Now we're going to just add the lid to this. Turn the power on and put it on dough. This definitely turned out a lot different than my last batch. I'm wondering if because I have the plastic arms in here rather than the metal ones. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add about a third to a quarter of the egg whites into this mixture, and then we're going to lightly mix it for a while. Okay, so there's the egg whites. Let's grab the lid for this thing. Set it on top. Turn it back on. Put it back together. Okay. Still looks a lot different than last time. The last time I made it kind of look like a baby diarrhea. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to add this to the egg white mixture here. Okay, so here's the dough in here. So now what we're going to wind up doing is just kind of lightly folding it into the egg white mixture. So you don't want to over mix it so that the egg whites lose their firmness. Okay, so there's all the almond flour dough folded in with the egg whites. Now what I'm doing is going to add it to this 8" by 4" pan. And you're going to want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. So let's go ahead and add this to the pan. Alright, so now I got the almond flour, or the almond dough mix stuff, added to the 8 by 14, or 8 by 4 loaf pan. So now what we're going to do is, now that the oven is preheated to 375 degrees, we're going to bake this for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes is up, take it out of the oven, use a toothpick and stick it right in the center, and then pull the toothpick out. Make sure that the toothpick is not wet at all. If the toothpick is wet, you can even use a knife too, if you don't have any toothpicks. If anything comes out wet or looks like it's still kind of doughy or whatnot, stick it back in the oven. You want to err on the side of baking it too long rather than baking it not enough. If you overbake it, then it's just done for sure. If you underbake it, there's going to be a doughy middle to it and it's going to be kind of nasty. So we're going to bake this thing for about 30 minutes. And my other loaf is in the oven. The one that I use the non-blanched almond flour for. So after that one, I'm going to stick this one in the oven here in a second, and then when the other one comes out, I'm going to compare the two and see which one is really better. As you recall, with the other one I had said that I used a pumpkin pie spice to it, just because I did not like the flavor of the non-blanched almond flour mix. So I'm going to see if the blanched almond flour has a different flavor to it. And when this is done, I'll let you know how it is. Here is the blanched almond flour. As you can see, it's not, don't have, it kind of looks like almost like a regular style loaf of bread. So this just came out of the oven, so let's see what it tastes like. A little bit better than the non-blanched almond flour. I'm going to put these two together. Yeah, the non-blanched definitely has a taste to it that I don't like.
You're trying it full of pea. Aren't you big girl?
So, besides for my daughter feeding her baby live doll,
Olivia.
I'm sorry, Olivia. So the difference between the non-blanched almond flour and the almond flour one, and the non-blanched and the blanched almond flour, if you have a chance to buy the blanched almond flour, definitely buy it, because the non-blanched has kind of a bitter taste to it, where the blanched almond flour tastes a lot better.
How come you're talking to yourself? Because you're trying to do